All right, welcome in one and all to the CFCL Season 9 roster preview. One thing to note, if you're missing anybody from your roster that you think should definitely be on there, let me know ASAP, because I can still go ahead and fix that depending on position and year and things like that. This does not apply to reward players, because if you do not have your reward player, it means either A, you did not message me to claim your reward player, or B, you didn't have room on your roster for the reward player, and I'll have to import them next season. That said, let's go ahead and get into it, starting with Air Force. We're just going to go ahead and scroll through pretty quickly, as always, just because it does take a while. Feel free to pause at any point on any of your players, but like I said, there's like 80 players, 136 teams or whatever, so it's going to take us a minute to get through. Shouldn't have CFCL guys on Air Force, but they do have a new coach, Coach William. Really good right guard. I'm not going to say this team is a sneaky dark horse contender for the Mountain West, but I think they could upset some teams on the way, and 7 wins or so, maybe. Lots of kicker, or sorry, I thought we were on kicker already. That was safeties. I'm not locked in, it's pretty early in the morning for me. Anyway, let's move on to Akron, kind of the same story. Not sure they have any CFCL guys. Not a great roster, and this is post-progression. So everything you see here is the final rosters, without like coach bonuses and stuff, because those can kind of fluctuate and change depending on how coaches level up throughout the season, things like that. Might pick up the pace a little bit, just because, like I said, especially for these CPU teams, this is going to take us a while. Best player in 85. What about Alabama? They got themselves a roster, but they had themselves a roster last season, and they couldn't get anything done with it. So we'll see. 90 overall senior quarterback, 85 freshman, and 96 overall running back. No fullbacks on the roster. Decent receiving room. I mean, Alabama's coming off a bad season. It's like 5-7, 4-8, one of the two. Definitely some talent on this roster. Trying to make sure that everybody can see everything that they might need to see about their players. Like their archetypes and stuff. Abracadabra, CFCL guy. I hope I didn't skip any over there. I haven't been paying too much attention, I suppose. But Abracadabra, true freshman, 86 overall. That's what I'm saying. CFCL players have very high overalls. Hans Crockett, also a CFCL guy. What about App State? Also, I wish I could show you like their deal breakers and stuff, but unfortunately cannot. Also feeling a little bit congested this morning, which is not ideal. 3 fullbacks is crazy. App State is trending in the right direction. You know, they did pretty good last season. And they definitely could this season as well. This defense is rated pretty high. The offense maybe not, but I'm seeing some potential in this defensive roster. Oh yeah, 91 overall Mike linebacker. Three kickers, 3 punters. There you go. What a roster. What about Arizona? Arizona, not a traditional powerhouse in the Pac-12, and pretty low win total this season. I think they're sitting at like 3.5 again. They had 2 decent seasons. I think they went 7-5 in season 1, and then season 7. I don't know that last season was that bad for them either, but traditionally Arizona is a bottom-feeding program, and we'll have to see if that continues. But at Arizona State, now here's a roster. This team expected to do big things. Yeah, they got some good players here. 99 speed wide receiver in there. A left tackle, not a strength of the roster. But this defensive line is, wow. Delta Port side is a CFCL true freshman. Wiley Butters, CFCL kicker. What about Arkansas, a perennial underachieving team? 82 freshman quarterback, so maybe in a couple seasons you have something there. If he doesn't transfer out, they do have a good wide receiver. All right. What about Arkansas State? Got themselves a coach there as well. Colin Thibodeau is their starting quarterback in 88, so that's a good start. 72 overall running back. Definitely some room for improvement. Though it could be worse. Wide receiver room is actually pretty good. So is the tight ends. They're definitely going to have a vertical passing attack. And there's some young positions on here too. Some time to develop. Worried about the secondary a little bit so far. Yeah, I would be concerned about passing attack. They also have 3 kickers, 3 punters. What about Army? Not a bad quarterback room for Army. Dax Cruz and Junko Jitters. Both CFCL guys, the kicker and punter. What about Auburn? Auburn getting some preseason hype, and not for no reason. This roster is really good again this season. It's just the problem with Auburn is they've had talented rosters that always sputter out. So we'll see if Jaden Newton can guide them to something. Turner, a 90 overall running back. Really good receiving room. Griff Bramblejam, the freshman. Oh, actually, there's a couple tight ends in here. We got Griff Bramblejam, Golly Gazebo, and Quad Clown Jumper. All CFCL guys. 3 CFCL tight ends. And I believe they're only CFCL players. Good corner there. I mean, this team is just talented all the way through, to be honest. Okay, Ball State. Nothing standing out so far. Certainly not a bad roster. Good tight end in there. Offensive line is holding up. Honestly, this team might be underrated. Literally. Feels like they should be a slightly higher overall. This team is not terrible. Well, corner room is not good. Baylor. Coach Flame with Baylor. Good quarterback in Skowronek. Don't know how to say that, but we'll learn if he can make a statement this season. But he'll probably be gone after this season. Baylor, not a bad team by any means. They got themselves a pretty solid roster, I would say. The offensive line, not super strong. The problem with Baylor is that they play in a just miserable, unwinnable division. Obviously, somebody's got to win it. But man, it just feels like Baylor is outclassed by the Big Four. Not even like Big Three. It's Big Four in that division now. That would be Texas, TCU are the top 2 teams this season in the preseason. Oklahoma as well, and Texas A&M. And continuing with our user teams here, what about Boise State? Led by Corbin Thatcher at quarterback. Finally getting the starting role for them. He's an 86 overall. He should be balling out. CFCL guy as a sophomore. And then, of course, Guillermo Quinones still there for his senior year after getting injured last year. He should ball out for them. Ruben Rowe, incoming CFCL tight end. Pinto Bean, a left guard from the CFCL recruiting class. I mean, Boise State should definitely be contending for their division and conference this season. Lots of talent. I mean, they're not perfect everywhere. We just saw that, but still, like what I see. And let's just keep going. Rip them off. All the users in a row. Boston College, finally. I mean, they just have a huge upside potential this season. D'Angelo Quintero, 91 overall. Toby Babaloo down here, 74 overall freshman. Could develop into something. Keenan Kaiser, Zamir Cornett as well, both in here. Sanders Saldana, freshman running back from the CFCL recruiting class, also incoming, so they got a really good running room. Wide receivers, you got Chad Malachi still there from the portal last season. Billy Bayou, 85 overall now as a sophomore. Mookie Boogs, the freshman, is an 82. So certainly some good players. Jaquavion Fleet comes in as an 84 overall freshman. Of course, he's an athlete, so his position could change in the offseason if Cryo decides to do that. Bravey Train, 90 overall sophomore. I'm telling you guys, recruit CFCL players. They are very good these days. They just develop into monsters. 76 overall freshman job hunter. Wonder Bread is 77 overall. as a junior. He hasn't developed all that well. But Sam Twin and Dilly Reed both spearheading this corner room. We got Ez Lux in there as well, so they really don't have to worry. That'll be a solid room. Deacon Daly is a senior, and he's going to ball out. Antonio Lovelady is solid. Jabo Swint is an 85 overall freshman. This team's set up. Koa Tipton, not the greatest, but, you know, he'll make do. And Heriberto Waddell, 81 overall punter. Man, they got a 91 overall corner on this Bowling Green team. Just saw that from the main screen there. Pair of good wide receivers. I would say there's a couple tiers. You know, like 75 is when you get into serviceable. 80, I would say you have a solid player. And then 85 is a good player. And then obviously you can go into like the difference between 85 and 90 and 99 being like great, elite, you know, stuff like that. But if you have a guy at a 70 overall, you know, you'll be okay. Not great. I'd say 75 should be hopefully your bare minimum guy. But it also depends on your conference and stuff. What about Buffalo? A couple time MAC contender, MAC winner, good quarterback. Will Cook is there, CFCL guy. Good wide receiver. Really good wide receiver. 99 speed, 95 overall. Excuse me, like I said, I'm congested this morning, which is really annoying. Because I'm actually just getting over being sick. And I don't think I'm getting sick again. It doesn't feel like I'm sick. It just feels like I'm congested. Yeah, we'll see if Buffalo can go back to contending for the MAC or not. What about BYU? They're expected to have a pretty good season. Win total of like 8.5, 9.5, but it might just be a product of scheduling. Reggie Gumbo, very slow power back for them. I know I said I was going to speed it up, and here we are at 20 minutes on BYU. Yeah, not much to say about this BYU roster. It's certainly not bad, but also doesn't seem as good as maybe the win total would indicate, so I'm assuming they have a light schedule. What about Cal? Cal is led by Bo Arrow in his senior year. Cordell Lyons isn't even the starter, has a 90 overall. It's pretty slow, to be fair. Lots of talent in their final year for Cal. Of course, we had Coach Cos there for a while, and he recruited some good players before going MIA. Paxton Law as well in that class. So some of them stuck around. Scott Eagle, another one, and they're all really good players by now. Joe Hammer. Taizo Finns is a freshman coming in. But we'll see. They have been pretty down on their performance recently. Central Michigan. One good season, but they've struggled since. Oh boy, getting some connectivity issues. Just make sure all is good. Okay. Yeah, this Central Michigan team does not look great. I won't lie. A lot of weak outside linebackers there. Will linebacker, if you will. Get it? I wish I could, like, watch YouTube while doing this, and you guys couldn't hear it. Charlotte, what do we got in store this season? They are not expected to be a great team, but honestly, I've seen worse rosters. Oops, skipped over a guy there. Don't want to do that. Okay, Cincinnati is looking like a real good team. 85 overall with an 87 quarterback. Welcome in Mace, no idea how to say it. Still to this day. 92 running back as well. Good start to the O-line. Well, then they get some 74s, but right guard is good. Right tackle is good. Cincinnati could certainly be doing something in this division. I know they've struggled a little bit recently to get over the Temple hump, but if any roster is going to do it, it's going to be this one. Yeah, Cincinnati should be doing pretty good. Clemson is a really talented team. All right, 97 overall. Look at all these talented players in there. 86 overall quarterback, 91 at running back, 90 is the backup. The backup, 97 overall. I mean, these wide receivers are insane. Best wide receiver room by far. And a 95 overall tight end to cap it off. Clemson, of course, had high expectations last season after going to the playoff and having a little stint there before last season when they just didn't live up to expectation. They had a really good roster and just weren't that good. So a lot of those players, you know, the talent remains. We'll see if they can bring some of it back and try to do something. That's why they're unranked. Despite being a 97 overall, they're unranked because they just had a bad season. What about Coastal Carolina, led by Warren Mintz? Of course, I had a brief time at Coastal Carolina where I brought in some players. Warren Mintz was the go-to guy. Travis Domino was also brought in during that class. Kelton Boudreau was in there. Brought in Daniel Epps from Buffalo via the portal. Calvin Teal, Luca Medley, Omari Randall. Lots and lots of CFCL guys in there. Bobby Bixby is a baller, 91 overall junior, but he's not the best player on this team. Ham Gerber is in there. And there's Tim Carrington. I don't know how he is not declared for the draft, but now a 99. Hayden Grove, another CFCL guy. Zev Richter, another CFCL guy. Coastal Carolina should definitely have a successful season this year. Bonfires in there. Joe Average, Goose Wobble. Like, there is some talent in this roster. And if they can't do anything with it, it's going to be a huge loss. Okay. Bragging about the toilet bowl is crazy. What about Colorado? They got themselves a good quarterback. He's only a sophomore. So is their 86 overall running back. The only thing I'll say is at least we have better tunes this year than we did last year. Here's Adam Viking. Last year was brutal because those drum lines were just not hitting. I mean, Colorado, not terrible, but I don't know what we'll see out of them. Probably a bowl. What about Colorado State? Another team that just kind of goes under the radar these days. Don't hear much or see much about them. Just because they haven't done much recently. I mean, they have some players on here for sure, but roster's not elite. '83 overall free safety, though. Delaware, brand new to the CFCL. A 64 overall team. It's going to be tough for Delaware to get things going. But maybe, I suppose. You never know. They are an independent team, so they'll play all kinds of opponents, and maybe they get some bottom-of-the-barrel Conference USA, MAC teams, you know, and they're able to sneak in some wins. What about Duke? Duke is not good. They do have, well, actually, they have some great players opening up. Yeah, I mean, they've got some talented guys on this Duke team. Don't sleep on Duke. That 72 overall is a little misleading. Dad Bountygate, CFCL player. My thumb is getting tired of pushing down on the D-pad. East Carolina. Not really expected to be a favorite in the American this season. Actually, I can pull that data up. Why don't I just do that? We can reference it as we go. Yeah, unfortunately, those are a little bit down the way alphabetically. Sorry, I'm pulling up the betting line sheet. That way we can cross-reference. So East Carolina, win total of 4.5, and they're dead last in their conference. To win it, at least. So, not good. Least likely team to win the American. To be fair, it does feel like only 3 teams can win the American. And everybody else is just kind of there. Cincinnati, Temple, UCF. That's about it. Ugh. I also feel tired. What about Eastern Michigan? You are not beating West Virginia, or Washington, believe it or not. You're an underdog by a combined 67 points in those games. All right, the Gators of Florida taking a step back this season for sure, but they've had a couple good runs. Definitely a good team. Jalen Christmas. Wow. What are we looking at for Florida? Florida has a win total of 7.5, which is like mid-tier SEC, just because it's hard to win a ton of games. But maybe a brutal schedule somewhere in there too, because they are preseason number 12. 7.5 does feel a little short of a line, and they are 7th to win the SEC. Pretty brutal, but I mean, you look at the teams above them and you say, yeah, except for LSU. I don't know how LSU is more likely to win it, but maybe. Auburn, Auburn's roster is just crazy talented, but Florida's got a good team. What about FAU? I think this was one of the best bets. Azael Azel is there as a 92 overall wide receiver. Yeah, I think FAU is one of the best bets from my model, which I'm going to be dropping on Sideline Scoop when I'm able to record that. It says that betting the over on FAU is one of the best bets you can make this season. Really trusts FAU. So, I suppose we'll see. Definitely some players on this roster. But FIU, this team is not expected to be nearly as good. Kind of go through. Like I said, we should speed up on the CPU teams. Florida State, though. Here you go. Florida State, a team with 10.5 wins, second in the conference, only behind Miami. Armando Jablinski is sophomore, 89 overall, but Hud Hushpuppy, the athlete, also 89 overall. So if you don't like your pocket passer, maybe you switch over to your dual threat quarterback. And DJ Ukulele, always there, I suppose. Billy Bowlegs has jumped king in the overall considerably. Excuse me, I'm still congested. I'm trying to fix that, but it's tough. Walker Stride is there. Let's see, Sheriff Outlaw is in there. Jocko Flacco. J.C. Warren, still really fast. Johnny Drizzle, freshman, 94 overall tight end, to replace Keaton Sword. Jay Junk is a 90. Heavy Armor is an 80. Choo Choo, 88 overall. Your Carlisle, 81. Terrence Youngblood will finally get to start. The 6'9" giant. Stumpy Bumpers is in there as well. Tyree Quintana still just hasn't developed. Ballista Bautista is a monster. David Goggins. Marty Beanbags is fourth, which is not bad considering everybody above him is so good. Harlan Gibble's a freshman, 82 overall. Riley Renegades up to a 94. Jax Taylor is a 78, but Jabari Bettis looks to be their guy. And they finally have to replace their kicker. Walter Cubb is gone after going crazy. And Don Henley, 85 overall. Fresno State. What do you got in store for us? Fresno State hasn't landed a CFCL player since Teddy Stover, the star quarterback who went to Fresno and was benched for like 3 seasons because they just kept having good quarterbacks at Fresno State. And he finally started for a year before transferring for his senior year to Miami and then balling out, of course, and being compared to Tom Brady before throwing like 4 picks in a game. George Rosales. Look out for George Rosales, guys. It's going to be crazy. He's got a good target in Escalante this season. Felix Jukebox and Colin Comet down here. Gonna be a long time for Stanford indeed. Buzz Honeydew's in there at tight end. Herb blocks a lot. Yeah, we're trying to get through these teams, especially the CPU teams with no CFCL players, pretty quickly. That's oh sorry, I thought that was a CFCL guy. I was thinking of the wrong guy, and I'm on the wrong team anyway. Don't know why he was there, but Adrian Appelt is here. But yeah, Georgia expected, of course, have another good season. Georgia Southern. I don't think they have any CFCL guys on this roster. Yeah, look at that. Get through it in 30 seconds. Yeah, don't see any CFCL guys for Georgia Southern. Georgia State is a 0-star. 0. 4 fullbacks is a crazy roster. Georgia State has just never been a good team. What about Georgia Tech? Coach Chevalier, rocket launcher, a 90 overall as a junior. Pat White, of course, the backup there to replace him one of these days, depending on if he declares this season. Leighton Kearns up to a 94. Axel Armada, 85 overall freshman for them. Jimmy McIver from the portals there. Dante Acosta, 83 overall. Chevy Lockhart has kind of been buried. Dante Flaxen, 77 overall freshman. Des Fandango, 96 overall tight end as a sophomore. So he's going to be a baller. Ardit is in there. Kellen Covelli, another CFCL guy. Jaheim Spears off the edge, 93 overall. And then, of course, Isaac Clairvoy comes in. Defensive tackle, we got 85 and 83 overall CFCL players. Underclassmen, Kip Cooley, 82. Lamar Bex is in there. Denzel Coyne, Han McLeod, another CFCL player. Onyx Hardstone. There's just so many. Finn Barber, Atlas Powers, Maximo McQueen and Piotr Pereira, Jamie Waffles. So many CFCL players on this team now. David Putzi. So Georgia Tech, dark horse for sure for the division. Miami and them are just so talented, so I don't know. Hawaii had a not bad season last season, I don't think. We'll see if they can keep trending in the upward direction. Mountain West just doesn't have very many high overall teams, so they could definitely find some success there. Especially with a couple of these players being as good as they are. And Silas Coleman, 94 overall. At running back, should definitely do big things. Houston, perennial Conference USA favorite, one of them, and they got a really good quarterback. Greg Maryland, 93 overall. And an 89 overall running back. It feels like Houston and SMU are always in the race. And we'll get there soon, but watch out for Rice this season, too. I think one of those three teams has to win it. Houston, SMU, or Rice. But Middle Tennessee's got themselves a running back as well. And again, we'll get there. We'll get to that roster. What about Illinois? Flame was here for a moment before leaving. Bobby McKee is a senior. One of our CFCL guys. Howie Dingeling, 90 overall sophomore at strong safety. It's crazy. I'm telling you, CFCL players are really, really good. Not all of them, but a lot of them. What about Indiana? Just in a bad place Indiana is. They've never been a good team, except for the one time they were. They were really good for one season. 5, I believe that was. They went 9-3 after just having a bad start to the season, before just deciding to beat, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State. Beat all of them. And then they got into the playoff and upset. Or no, they beat UCF is what it was. And then they lost to Alabama. What about Iowa? Iowa's got a good team as usual. Beavers Beavers, true freshman CFCL player there. We'll see. They certainly some talented players. This defense is loaded, but they got to play Nebraska, Wisconsin. Who knows who they draw from the East Division? You could play Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State. It's tough conference. Iowa State, preseason number 15, despite being a 72 overall. But they were a low overall last season and won a lot of games, so we'll see if they can keep that up without their quarterback, as Larry Leveski has gone on to bigger things. I don't know that that's true. He probably didn't. Despite being a high overall, that guy was not going far in life. It's the last of their CFCL guys that aren't freshmen. Speaking of which, there's Arrow Bowman. But yeah, McGrady was there and recruited some players there. But Jacksonville State had a good season and then a bad season, as their 2 first seasons in the CFCL. They're 59 overall, which is not great, but they do have some good players. But the offensive line is terrible. Defensive line is better. I don't know. Definitely doesn't look like this team is going to be doing what they did their first season. That first season was really good. 9 wins for a first-year team. They got Rudy Peachtree there. James Madison. Of course, Coach Blakey here for a long time. Caspian Mendoza will be getting the start over Astro Stardust. But Stardust will take over next season. Lots of CFCL players on this team, of course, because he was here for so long. Martavius Warmaker, Nixon Poole, Billy Booz. But he finally moved on. Went to West Virginia. Both of these guys, CFCL, Randy Stone, Teddy Hoopengardner, RJ Axon, 88 overall, sophomore. Just never able to get over the hump with James Madison of being, like a national title contender, which I suppose makes sense. Yeah. YouTube VOD on its way. Frankie Trevino, CFCL guy. Jorkin It. Wafo Amico. So some talent on this team for sure. I mean, you got 2 guys at 90 overall, both of them quarterback. How about Kansas? Preseason number 7. What are we doing? They are led by a freshman 76 overall quarterback. Oh, but they got a really good running back there. Is he enough to carry them to that high? I mean, wide receivers aren't bad. But I just think preseason number 7 for a team that just hasn't been good since season 5 is crazy. I don't know where this comes from. What did they finish last season? 7-6? I don't know. And this secondary is not good. I just don't trust it. They got 2 CFCL safeties, Nova Gunn, Harlan Scruggs. But Kansas State. Oh my goodness. Amani Agadosi, 97 overall quarterback. Kansas State maybe getting a bump based off of that alone. but maybe he's enough to carry them. That's an awesome player. Booger Puddin'! There he is. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to clear my congestion before we go into Kennesaw. It didn't really work. Okay, Kennesaw State. Junior Flippo, the quarterback there. They should be their only CFCL player, I believe. They're just so new. They're coming off a good season. But they had a bad season their first year, right? So, kind of opposite of Jacksonville State. Watch both of them just be bad this season. Or maybe one of them be good, one of them be bad again. Suppose you never know. This roster... Oh, well, that's not a good safety. But, other than that, Kent State not supposed to be very good. We're at the 48-minute mark already? Oh, brother. It always takes like 2 hours to do this. What about Kentucky? Kentucky, led by Caliac Maverick, had their first season in a while where they made a bowl game behind Caliac Maverick's first season starting. Can he keep that up for them? I don't know. They play a tough division. Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina every once in a while is okay. I don't know if that'll be the case this year. I mean, this roster is not bad. But compared to some of the SEC teams, is what you have to... Like, yeah, maybe it's a fine roster for this conference or this opponent, but can they compete with Georgia? That's the question. What about Liberty? Liberty's got a very low win total, 3.5, despite having a really good running back there still. They're just not a great team, 59 overall. No strong safeties on the entire roster, are we kidding? Oh boy. Luckily they have extra free safeties, I suppose, that they can put there. Louisiana, coming off a good season. Beat Ole Miss in the regular season. Ole Miss's only loss in the regular season. And still got some good players. So maybe they should be pretty good again. Contend for Conference USA, even though I do think that those other teams are just so much better off. There's so many linebackers on this team. Louisiana Tech had one of the best offenses in the country last season and one of the worst defenses. Trayson Cano is there. Yeah, just not great defensively. I mean, linebackers could be worse, I suppose. There's some guys in there with talent for sure. Louisville, Quincy Dada. What a guy. What a name. They got a freshman 88 overall running back. Whew. Are we back to the old Louisville where they run the ball all over everybody? Louisville was very bad last season until they decided not to be bad last season and just started winning games. The funniest turnaround of last season, for sure. LSU, over-under win total of 7.5, right above Florida in the SEC odds, spirited by Jack Frost in his final year. They might not have a great running game, though, but good wide receiver, tight ends to throw to, offensive line, ooh. So definitely some questions on the O-line. But defensive line looks elite. In fact, this whole defense so far looks elite. Or at least above average. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. John Borges, 99 overall with 99 speed, 98 acceleration, 99 change of direction. That is an elite player. What about you, Marshall? Marshall has not been good in a minute, unfortunately. Jinx Jangles is there, though. Maryland. Maryland is a team that always seems to find a way to go 6-6. Bodie McBean. And Cam Twin there as well. Don't want to skip over him. Dorian Doink is there. Wait, what? This guy was supposed to be a kicker. Strange. Yeah, I do also wish that. But I guess we get a couple of them. And it's a better soundtrack than last season, so at least I'm not as miserable. What do we have from Memphis? I think their win total is 7.5. Carmelo Honeycutt is there for his senior season. He never really developed into the star player, hopefully. I hoped he would. Memphis, of course, past their prime. But Jackson Wisebecker also there, 88 overall. Alan Patelli is there. But yeah, they used to have a coach there, Coach Grizz, who was just balling out for them and recruiting studs. Vince Vance there as well. But past their prime nowadays, unfortunately. What about Miami? The #1 power-rated team in the country. They're supposed to be the best team this season. But they were supposed to be the best team last season, so we'll see how that goes. Michael Mills-Johnson, 89 overall as a senior. We'll see what he can do. Not a good running game. Keep that in mind. Yeah, there's only 2 teams that are 99 across the board. But to be fair, they were also really highly rated last season, and they just didn't do good. This is a crazy room right here. What are we doing on their edge rushers? Like, forget Mears, bro. These guys are crazy. Their defensive line is evil. This team is insane. If they don't succeed this season, it'll just be such a bust. This roster is crazy. Lots of talent on the defensive line. On the defense in general. Offensive line was solid. Yeah, I mean, Miami should be up there. The other Miami also should be up there. Honestly, I don't hate the CFB 26 sim engine at all. Because that kind of stuff happens. You know, it's not as bad as 25. 25 was just so unfun. It was so bad. Yeah, I mean, this team does look pretty good too, especially for a MAC team. This team should be contending for the conference for sure. That's a pretty solid roster right there. There's a lot of 80 overalls for a MAC team. Yeah, simulated, especially Super Sim, when you hop into it and Super Sim it, those games were always just kind of ugly. What about the Michigan Wolverines, 94 overall team? Trevor McCaffrey, the quarterback. Do they have any CFCL players outside of the incoming freshman? Anthony Adebayo? I don't know. I don't remember, but I don't think so. I think Michigan's kind of on the downward turn right now, past their prime a little bit. But the offensive line continues to be very good. Defensive line as well. Linebackers are starting off very, very hot. Parity is narrow sometimes, but like also, I don't know. It's, oh my god, look at this corner room. Sometimes like I'll get games that are like the opposite of that, where it seems like the parity needs to be closer because like Georgia will beat this mid-tier Conference USA team or whatever. It'll be genuinely the worst one I've seen is like 109-7. Like, I've seen a team put up 100 points. So, I don't know. Michigan State. Yeah, well, it just happens sometimes. It's pretty bad. Jatavion Tuttle, 90 overall, taking over at quarterback for the first time. Good running back room after all the CFCL players depart from there. Connor Candelaria is still there. Good left tackle. Of course, Michigan State, I do think genuinely would be a national title contender every single season if we were able to still have Lunar with us. This team was so fun to watch back in like season 4. Monte Ziegler still there for one final go at it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a veer and shoot thing. I honestly, I don't know how playbooks sim all that well. Middle Tennessee. Here's a team that could succeed. They got a good quarterback and running back combo. 4 fullbacks. Decent wide receivers for a Conference USA team. I mean, I definitely see this team doing some stuff. Good left tackle. Really good left tackle. That guy would start most anywhere. Not everywhere, but most. Playbooks are a Lion sim. Oh. I mean, maybe. But people say the Duke playbook is just really good in sim in general. And I don't know what to think about that. Because I've done some minor testing. I don't know about that so much. But yeah, that's true. Minnesota. Minnesota has their best roster in years. For those that don't know the Minnesota lore, they won the Season 1 National Championship game and then haven't made a bowl game since. And they finally have themselves a serviceable roster. So we'll see. Duff McGruff is a baller, 93 overall, redshirt sophomore. Didn't they get another guy? Yeah, Chubby Tubster. They just got another guy on the offensive line. But yeah, I don't know how awareness and everything sims. Obviously, I know that it's a big part of sim is awareness, hence why I put such a big emphasis on it in the CFCL guys. Most CFCL guys will have very high awareness. Kelton Trimble, CFCL kicker. Unfortunately, they have a 90 overall here. He will not be playing this season. Mississippi State. Keon Robert, 92 overall. Mississippi State has been bad for a long time. They used to be something. Not elite, but they used to be able to beat anybody and lose to anybody. But they would, in the NCAA 14 era, they would sling that ball a million times per game with Stuart Rosado, for those that might remember the name. And that guy put up ridiculous stats. Super run heavy. Can you adjust your run and pass? I know you can like pick playbooks that run the ball a lot, but that I don't know that there's like a run pass slider. Is there? It's like aggressive and conservative, but I didn't see one. Otherwise, I would have put it in the form. Was that a CFCO guy? Am I an idiot and I just skipped over him? No. I was thinking of Fisher Spriggs. That's Forrest Spriggs. Don't know who that is. What about Missouri? Team that's getting some preseason hype. Something like burning plastic in here. Could be my PC overheating. That would be awesome. Anyway. Young quarterback. Really good running back. Aggressive and conservative. I know that really affects like your fourth down stuff. Third and fourth down calls. But yeah, I could imagine that being more aggressive is more passing too. But NCAA 14 had both. You had a run-pass slider, and you had an aggressive conservative slider. I think that like if you picked the Michigan playbook, you would probably have a lot of runs. I need to go through these faster. I don't know why I keep slowing down. Missouri State, they're very bad. That's all you need to know. They are not going to have a good first season. Actually, that's a good quarterback and wide receivers. I'll take it back. Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's also true. I forgot about the styles. Mad Scientist definitely goes for fourth down more. But I don't know anything, because like it's hard to find info on this stuff. So maybe you're right, but I don't understand why the previous game would have both, or not even previous game, it's a decade ago, and then be different. I don't know. I really do like this sim engine. I mean, maybe I've just had a different experience with it, but like it feels like the good teams dominate usually. Yeah, Mad Scientist. My first experience, first and only. This is a really good Mike linebacker here, by the way. First experience and only experience with Mad Scientist was when I turned Johnny Manziel into an offensive coordinator, and I was running a coaching dynasty, so I could only call the plays, and I didn't control the players. And I set him as a Mad Scientist because I felt like that made sense. And I was like, let me just see what it does. And it went for fourth all the time. And I got so mad when it made me go for it on fourth sometimes. It's like, dude, we should definitely be kicking the field goal here. I mean, that's, yeah, you know, that certainly happens, I would say. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen in mine either. But I'm saying usually the teams that they lose to is not like FCS or, you know, Kennesaw State. They're losing to like, I don't know, who did we use? Ohio State? So they lose to like a Maryland. And obviously Ohio State's a tough call because Ohio State doesn't have seasons like this where they just fall apart and lose games like that. But like Clemson, look at Clemson this season. Um, Kent State by 17. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that. But I don't know. Clemson was supposed to be like a national title favorite. They have good wide receivers, good defensive line. I don't know anything about their secondary. Quarterback was supposed to be one of, if not the best quarterback in football. Yeah, you could just be unlucky, but I mean, there's probably definitely problems. It's just, I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of it. I do see it here and there. But I also heard that, like, um, there's like a huge momentum thing in this game. Like, if your team, or not your team, but if a team loses a game that they should win in Sim, the season just seems to collapse. Like, you never lose to Kent State, just to keep using that example. You never lose to Kent State and then win out. Like, if you lose to Kent State, even as a 99 overall, you will lose more games. It's never just the one. But I don't know anything about that. That's just what I heard, was momentum is a pretty big thing. What about defending national champs Nebraska? Good quarterback, good wide receivers. Yeah, I saw very limited Cade Klubnik time. I did see that, like, his stats obviously very easy to look at, and they looked good. And when I saw him play in the playoff, he looked good. And I mean, he was putting together, okay, I watched a little bit of his first half of the season, very bad. And I watched a little bit of his later 3 games. He looked so much better in the last 3 or 4 games of the season than he did in the first 3 or 4 games of the season. And I was like, man, this guy is like actually becoming somebody. And then this season it just fell apart. Yeah, that's valid too. But also, on that point, Nevada has a 91 overall quarterback, Zaire Jones, by the way. Well, yeah, but I'm talking about last season. I would say on that point, the problem with 14, even if you liked the Sim engine a lot, where they would do really good in Sim, when you put them on the field, it is just like the gaps don't make any sense. You know, that 99 overall team could just get completely flattened by an 85 overall roster on the field. And then same thing, like you have 2 teams that are 95 overall, and then they end up like 42-7. Those games are so variable. And the Super Sim, don't get me started on Super Sim. I hate NCAA 14 Super Sim. That was the worst part. If you go to Super Sim and NCAA 14, that game can do literally whatever it wants. I think that College Football 25 and 26 do a really good job at the slow sim and super... Well, no, 25 did a bad job at Super Sim. 26 does a good job on Super Sim. But both games on slow sim do really good, I would argue. 87 overall quarterback for New Mexico. Yeah, the on-the-field stuff is really fun to watch. I remember I made an NFL team, the Patriots, I think I started with, just because I was like, yeah, I just need to find a team that's like middle of the pack or whatever. Let me go pick Patriots. And I made the Patriots in NCAA 14, or College Football 26. And I was like, let me see what would happen if I put them against a college football team. And I put them against some, like, who did I put them against? I put them against Kennesaw State. We're not going to talk about that game. I exited out of that because it was really bad. So then I put them against Alabama. And you have to remember that, like, these guys can only be so much better than the college football players. But the Patriots with, like, what was it, like 93 overall Drake May, you know, Ramondre Stevenson ended up with like a 96. Like, there was nobody below an 89, which I think makes sense for a college versus NFL roster. Everybody was 89 or above. They won that game like 63-0 Did they reach 21? I don't remember. I know that they put up 63. It was pretty bad. The other one, I exited out at halftime because it was like 108-0 at halftime with Kennesaw State. I was like, okay, this isn't even worth my time. That was on slow sim. New Mexico State will not be a very good team. Why do we have 4 punters? And they're all above 80 overall. Let me see. Clock would run during camera view. Yeah, that was not ideal. Like, obviously it wasn't on purpose. It's a good wide receiver. But I guess it does simulate trying to get to the line. But the problem is, like, you can actively hurry up, and they just couldn't hurry up in that camera angle. The one thing that I would like them to change still is, like, when it's, you know, sub 30 seconds or even lower than that, these CPU teams will run plays with, like, motion and stuff in them. That guy's crazy. Ruben Cruz. And they'll just burn so much clock. They'll burn 10 seconds pre-snap getting set and running the motions, and I'm like, yeah, nobody is doing that in this situation. The check down. You know, I used to complain about the check down, but then I watch more and more college football, and the more I see it, the more it happens. I see so many check downs in college football, I can't even be mad about it. Like, watch the end of the Notre Dame versus Texas A&M game. Notre Dame didn't even try. They threw it like 4 yards on a... I don't even know. Just kind of an in, I guess. And then they tried to get cute with, like, the pitches and stuff after that, because obviously that wasn't going to work. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, it was their play, you know, they had, like, a couple verticals out there, just like a Hail Mary type thing where everybody's bunched up. But then they also had, like, 2 players where they were just, like, it was the running back and one of the wide receivers who were ready for, like, the hook and ladder play. And that's just immediately they took it. They immediately took the hook and ladder because he was open, and it obviously didn't work. I don't know. I hate that. Just throw it up, dude. That stuff never works. I mean, neither does the prayer ball. But how many highlights have you seen of, like, the pitch and stuff working where they're trying to keep the ball alive, inbounds, tossing it around? You know, obviously there's, like, the Miami versus Duke highlight. But that never happens. If I look up Hail Mary highlights, you know, I'm going to get, like, the Dobbs heaves it. I'm going to get the Florida touchdown against... oh, who was that against? Was that against Tennessee? I don't know. Yeah, like, you can find a lot more of those. Oh my god, Northwestern has a 66 overall quarterback. That might be the worst starter we've seen so far. That's horrible. This team is bad. He's got good wide receivers. Oh no. Fernando Ferdinand is there. Oh, wait, I completely skipped over. One of those wide receivers is Luke Tower, the 7-foot guy, by the way. Get a mid-season transfer, bro. That is not ideal. No strong safeties on the roster. What about Notre Dame? They got themselves a good roster. Mike Von Rosenberg, the start of this season. And then there's J.J. Saddles, the CFCL guy after that. Good running back room. Good wide receivers. Very good wide receivers. But yeah, what else is there? There's Miami versus Virginia Tech last year. With that whole controversial Hail Mary call. But yeah, Hail Marys just seem to work so much more often. Winnie Winnipeg! 81 overall as a freshman. What did YouTube TV do? I used to use YouTube TV to watch college football, and then I realized I could just watch it on YouTube for free. Because every game is just there. And like, yeah, maybe I'm on like a 10-second delay, but nah, it's free instead of $80 a month. That's too much dollars. Johnny Jet. They lost ESPN. Ooh. Johnny Jet is the wide receiver me and Blakey went after without realizing we both had a deal breaker on him. I don't remember what the deal breaker was, but we couldn't land him, so Ohio just kind of got him for free. I don't think I understand what any of this means. I don't keep up with any corporation interaction or talk or anything, so I don't know what Disney trying to promote anything has to do with YouTube TV. Oh, but they took it all. Okay, never mind. I see it. They took everything off. Yep, I get you. And here's 99 overall Ohio State, by the way. Spirited with an 85 overall quarterback, 84 overall running back. Like, good wide receiver room, though, as is tradition with Ohio State. But see, the thing is, this does not feel like a 99 overall offense. You know, that's what I like. I think the ratings are better in this game, but they're still not perfect. Like, what do we mean that these 85s, 86s compile into 99 overall? Have we even seen a 90 overall on defense? There you go. There's a couple at 92. I'm not saying they should be 99 overall. You know, I'm not saying it should just be the average of the players, because then you would never have a 99 overall team, because nobody has just 99 overall players. But like, there are 6 players on this roster above 90 overall, and the team is at 99. Anyway, Oklahoma, preseason number 22, expected to take a step backward this season. Huey Sweets, 90 overall freshman, wide receiver from the CFCL class. Gage Thunderwell, 80 overall freshman. Yeah, I'm not a TVer. I only ever had YouTube TV for the games. I bought Peacock for a month just for the Notre Dame game, Notre Dame versus Texas A&M, because the YouTube streams were just not cutting it for me. I was like, nah, I need to watch this in HD, and I'm glad I did, because that game was awesome. Texas A&M is doing all right this season. 4 fullbacks again. I love these 4 fullback rosters, bro. I don't know in what universe you need 4 fullbacks, but dude, look at the tight ends. This team is just so heavy. This is like the most traditional team on planet Earth. If they do not run the football, it's just a waste. You got 9 tight ends, 4 fullbacks. What universe do we need that many tight ends? All right, Old Dominion. 70 overall quarterback. Oh boy. Quincy Wexler, it's all on you, bud. He's probably going to declare, but if he goes into the portal, that would be awesome. I need to see him succeed. He's just surrounded by mid. Banjo Fizz, sophomore wide receiver. He's pretty good. We'll hit Tennessee before we hit UMass. We'll hit Stanford before we hit UMass. Everybody's sitting here waiting for their teams. It's just so long. An hour and 20 mark of just clicking the tab on the D-pad over and over again. If I didn't feel like scrolling through them, that would be so much better. You know, if I could just be like, yep, here's your quarterbacks, here's your running backs, pause the video. But unfortunately, I feel like showing you guys what the abilities and stuff are. So I'll scroll through them. Abilities, archetypes. There's Buddy Hendricks, 97 overall, sophomore. Ole Miss should be a pretty good team. Undoubtedly. The offensive line, actually, not great. Well, the left side was not great. Everything else is really good. Good defensive line so far. The tackles, serviceable. It's been a minute since our Ole Miss coach recruited, but Ari Medina is still there. Buddy Hendricks and Ari Medina do a lot of the heavy lifting. And the Oregon Ducks, Kaleo Calypso, ready to lead the team this season. Dom DeCarvalho got the bench behind him, and they got a pretty good quarterback room. Cassian Firestarter, 90 overall redshirt freshman, so he should ball out for them as well. Jamal Bishop is not our player, actually, I don't think. I was thinking of somebody else who's no longer there. They used to have a different Bishop, I think. But Blackjack is still there. Jerome Archer is still there. And Cooper Scoots is in the wrong position. So he'll be switched over to running back in the offseason. Good tight end room. Chad Anker's in there. Now, he hasn't recruited offensive linemen, but the thing is, he hasn't really needed to. Paulo Graves, 90 overall. Oregon just blessed with a really good roster. Wally Waxer and Lamone Squeezy. There's Brock Lugnut, 90 overall, true freshman. They brought in Brian Britt via the portal, and Brock Lugnut just out-talented him. Tyrell Luckadoo, Lano Molina, both CFCL guys to lead corner room. Russ Cloud brought in via the portal. And, yeah, Oregon's going to be a pretty good team again. Made the national title. Big on sports. I can't just up and cancel. Yeah. Sunday ticket was a bargain as a college student. Is it? I heard that, but I don't watch the NFL, so it's not worth it. I have watched one NFL game this season. Green Bay versus Washington. That's more NFL games than I've watched outside of the Super Bowl the last, 5 years. Because as soon as these guys go into the NFL, I just forget they exist. Is Kai Takashima seriously the only CFCL guy on this roster? Oregon State is just not in a good place. I would love to see Oregon State do well. Why do we have 5 kickers? But, yeah, this team is just not good. Penn State. What do we got in store for us? Penn State, not a CFCL team. They do not believe in CFCL players ever since Kenny Kittles. I miss Kenny Kittles. But they have talent regardless because they are Penn State. Well, 3-4 is not the same as this Penn State team. This Penn State team is, well, they might. I suppose you can never say they won't. But this Penn State team is pretty good. Blaze Heat Streak is there at safety. Wow, Pitt. Pitt over under win total of 9.5, or is it 10.5? It's really high. But Pitt has never gone away. I expected Pitt to fall off a cliff after Coach Meeseeks left. Coach Orioles or Coach Atomic Swim, whatever he wants to be called. No idea. Buck Faust is a 99 overall tight end, but he's a pure blocker. So Anyway, after he left, I expected Pitt to just like decline, and they declined for a couple seasons, and then they just kept getting like better. And Pitt has never quite gone away. He brought them into relevance, and then they've just stayed there ever since. Pretty good team. Need to go faster. We can get out of here by 2 hours. Purdue is not good. Wow. As soon as I say that, we see 96 overall Tyrone Hearns. The receiver room is bad. Easton Southpaw is there. I need to put out the form to submit CFCL player names for this incoming class. Mostly because I do not want to come up with a ton of them. And, yeah. Theo Von Sprott, freshman CFCL guy. It's hard coming up with unique names that will stand out in the crowd. Here's Rice. I'm very excited for Rice. Casey Tiffin, 90 overall, but Alex Holton is where it's at. 95 overall running back, backed up by a 90 overall at Rice. We'll just make sure we're on that same page here. These are Rice players. 93 overall tight end. Like, Rice is cooking right now. The rice is in the rice cooker. This team is so good. Especially for Conference USA team. How can I not pick Rice to win the conference? Are they even the favorite? I don't know that they are. Let me check. Conference USA. They are tied for the favorite with Houston. Okay. I don't know. I think they're so good. Rutgers is coming off a really good season. 10-2. Odin Norstar is their 5-star tight end. But I don't know that they're going to replicate that success. The game also doesn't think they're going to replicate that success as they're unranked preseason. Three kickers, 3 punters. Love to see it. Sam Houston. Sam Houston is not very good. Their wide receivers are very bad. Their offensive line is even worse. Sam Houston rebuild would be fun, but the problem is I don't want to keep jumping around jobs. Like, I actually hate doing that. I would love to stick at one place. I left Texas A&M because I thought my team was too good, but now that it's in this game, I honestly think it's going to be a lot harder to maintain success. And so, I don't know. I want to go back and be A&M again. As fun as it would be to rebuild some teams, I just can't keep jumping. You know, Texas, I went Purdue to Texas, and I was only Purdue because this guy joined in season 1. He was like, right before the season started, and he was like, oh, can I play as A&M? And I was like, oh, I was going to do that, but yeah, that's fine. And then he never messaged ever again. And so I just went back to A&M after Purdue. He's such a nice guy. San Diego State and San Jose State are not expected to do that well this season. Any chance that Coach Beef Pounder is still here? Stanford is so close. And so is Tennessee. And then UMass. It's taking us forever. But we got there. Malik Laffy-Taff and was this Trimble? Daquan Trimble? Is that one of our guys? No, I don't think so. But Malik Laffy-Taff is. And he's buried under all these punters. What about SMU? Third in the conference to win it with 90 overall quarterback, 81 overall running back. The Conference USA race is actually going to be so fun. I think this is the best Conference USA we have ever seen. Usually they're the bottom of the barrel. They might have 3 of the best G5 teams. Like 3 of the top 10 for sure. Maybe 4 of the top 10 with Louisiana. Middle Tennessee might be good. But I'm telling you guys, Western Michigan might be good. South Alabama, not a good team. And again, this overall just feels very low, you know? For a team... I feel like it would be very easy. If I was to calculate overall for a roster, I would probably just make it the average of the starters plus 5, you know, and that would be how you get your team overall. Something really easy like that. How many teams until Stanford? Okay, just a couple. I was like, man, I feel like I should be there. Forgot about South Carolina and Southern Miss. To be fair, they're very forgettable recently. Southern Miss did have one good season. South Carolina doesn't do anything except upset Tennessee. A lot of kickers and punters, 7 total. Southern Miss, freshman quarterback, I suppose. Oh, I should have hit the record button. That would have made my life so much easier. Because now I have to download the Twitch VOD. That's fine. Stanford, we're finally here. 84 overall. Westbrook at quarterback. It's pretty good. Sean Waller is a good back. He, of course, got Akiva Sheets there as well. These are Sanchez coming in for the portal. Jamar Burton is pretty good. Good tight end in Rawlings. Marco Muffintop, 82 overall freshman. BJ Pepper via the portal, 92 overall. The right side, right tackle's not great. Benjamin Weiner. I thought that was somebody else for a second. That guy plays for Temple. Mike linebackers are good. Will, Corners are fine. Benson Bennett leading that, of course. And here's Gordy Gazebo. Dante Blades at free safety. I don't even know how to say this name. But he's playing strong safety for them. 3 punters, 3 kickers. There you go. What about Syracuse? 86 overall quarterback, 89 overall running back. I mean, yeah, Syracuse could upset somebody. The defense could use some work. Secondary's alright though. No strong safeties. That's fine. TCU! Number 2 team in the country. Alejandro East. 96 overall. He's going to ball out. .90 overall tight end. Good left tackles. Good left guard. Good center. This offensive line is insane. The lowest... Dude, everybody's a 90-plus overall on the offensive line. That offense is dangerous. Defense, not as dangerous. Ollie Longlegs is there. But look at these three. Joseph Schluter, Marquise Boyd, and Alejandro East are going to be a crazy trio with the best offensive line in the country. And of course, just 93 overall wide receivers sitting down here too. TCU is going to be very good. Tempo. Jay Scalzi, 93 overall. Lane Bonecutter up to an 85. Bubba Buckets is an 80. Rico Flavel is going to play linebacker, he says. So there's that. Harvey Brixius, 89 overall. Malachi Sugar, Coda Malaxi, all very good. Brody Lodeholt, 95 overall. He got a tan this season. Jay Zaruba, 86 overall as a sophomore. Michael Jackson, 85. Eli Goals is an 84. Dex Dynamo, 83. Ezio Bickers, 85. Keenan Winters isn't just an 83. Hasn't really developed. Let's see, 80 overall on both ends. Buzzsaw, 79. Artie Metzer, though, 80 overall as a freshman. Rusty Red, 82. Rumor has it he actually went down. One of the few to do that. Jet Montano, 75. Tom Mastro Giovanni is an 84, but if you remember, he's very injury prone. It's part of his archetype thing, or his trait that he got. LaShawn Edmonds brought in via the portal. Declan Stout is there. Ace Riggs as well, making a very good corner back room. Rashawn Etheridge hasn't really developed, unfortunately. Or maybe he's just in the wrong archetype. But AJ Snag, freshman, 75 overall. Kenny Gawaguchi, 83 overall. Taddeo Posey, 79. Lando Peppers starting at 80 for them. Big Wiener, 76. Hasn't really developed. Orcs Crowfoot, 75. Skippy Boone is a 79 overall kicker. Tennessee, the Volunteers, led by 91 overall Andre Muamba. So there you go. There's a fun name. Cottrell Hood, 89 overall. JJ Zutter, 87. Both CFCL backs. Of course, very heavy in the portal. Ty Philbin, 93 overall. Vernon Henson, 91. I mean, they just have so many talented players. A lot of them brought in via the portal. We'll get to some more of those guys here in a moment. Good offensive line. Brennan Hook brought in via the portal, 95 overall. Let's see, defensive tackles are good too. Gideon Owame brought in via the portal, 93 overall. Sherrod Church, portal, 86 overall. Oscar Laporta, portal, 91 overall. Didn't need to recruit CFCL players because he just portaled everybody in. Brought himself a good group. Jamar Deere, 93 overall. Ooh, strong safety is not good, but you could throw one of these guys in there. Especially, he's a box specialist. Tyler Lamb would probably make a really good strong safety. What about Texas? Preseason #1 team in the country. How do they earn this? The only 5-star prestige team. Or maybe USC is too. I think USC and Texas are 5-star prestige for some reason. Pete Volk, 95 overall. But guess who? Alex Craselius. Watch out for him. Really good wide receivers. Colton Cope is still there. 91 overall, 95, 94, and a 92 backup. 96 and a 90 backup. The offensive line is off the charts. Defensive line, ups and downs, I would say. 78's not even bad. They can definitely work with a 78, especially as a freshman. I mean, this roster is very good. I won't even lie. But those who know, Texas has never once, despite all the hype and all the talent and all the rosters, Texas has never made the CFCL College Football Playoff. So, who knows? What about my Aggies of Texas A&M, led by Mateo Colombo? What is the deal breaker? Playing time? Okay, he's chilling. This guy is not. He's not getting any playing time. Well, he's a senior. Okay. And then Moose McDeuce, the freshman. I don't know how he has an A- play time, but I'm okay with that. He is hopefully going to be a baller. Jaquan Boyce will be the running back. Good wide receivers. 390 overalls. Very bad in the tight end room. I think I tried getting one in the portal, and I didn't end up getting him. That's actually sad because they don't have any tight ends now, which is not good. Offensive line could be worse. Defensive line looks good. Oh yeah, definitely a very strong defensive line. Linebackers are good. Yep, inside and outside. Jonah Irongate. Don't know how this guy's still around, but he is. Raheem Stitzer brought in via the portal, so is Frank Coffey. Those will be the corners 1 and 2. Tip Kell also brought in as an 8 and 9. Kicker's not great. Punter's fine. Texas State. Shouldn't be any CFCL players on this team anymore. Bildo is a really good wide receiver for them. Okay, what about Texas Tech? 86 overall, quarterback. Mike Bumbles is gone. Hurdler is there. He's a backup on the offensive line for now. The offensive line is actually pretty good. Texas Tech is in a similar boat as Baylor. Not a bad team, but man, that division just sucks. Like, it wouldn't shock me to see that division, go 10 and 2, 9 and 3, 9 and 3, 8 and 4, and then some 5 and 7 teams, because there's no way they all survive each other. Unfortunately, Toledo lost their quarterback and wide receiver, so we'll see. McNabb is there. Shakvion Wampers. Is a freshman, so we'll see how he develops. And I gotta pee. We gotta get through these teams. Time to just rank them out. If you're watching this in the VOD and you've suddenly joined Toledo, pause. What about Troy? Good quarterback. Good running backs. Serviceable wide receiver room. Good tight ends. Offensive line. Oops, just skipped a couple of them there, but we'll just take our L and move on. Tulane. Not a bad overall team. Really good running back room for the... I mean, that's just a lot of really serviceable guys. 8-headed monster. They don't have a single left tackle on the team, though. This offensive line is not great. Yeah. Miguel Santiago III, CFCL player. 3 kickers, 2 punters. There you go. What about Tulsa? Spirited by Bo, the 90 overall freshman. Good running back in Nestor. Zeke Ripsaw, the backup to him at an 89 as well. Watch out. Tulsa's got some receivers to throw to. Not elite, but definitely can make some plays. Offensive line could definitely be worse. Defensive line, serviceable. Yeah, Tulsa is not bad at any position. Okay, well, safety. Safety is less than ideal, but everywhere else, Tulsa's going to be dangerous. Not better. They're not better than, like, Temple, Cincinnati, but certainly not bad. UAB, though, they are bad. And I think that might just be a consequence of the quarterback. Honestly, they're serviceable pretty much everywhere. I mean, you wish you had... Oh, okay. That's pretty bad. But their quarterback is not going to play them winning football, unfortunately. UCF, the only other team I think can contend for the American, because Azukanma, 95 overall, 94 speed at that. Quintrell Mongoose, 82 overall, running back. The line is fine. Defensive line has a really good edge rusher there. Again, this team is not better than Temple or Cincinnati, but definitely very good. Better than Tulsa's. I mean, this team, in my opinion, this team should win the South. Again. UCLA, always preseason hype. They're not preseason ranked this season, but they always have talent, and they just find a way to go like 7-5, 8-4 after like a 6-0 start. You know, they just collapse mid-season every season. We'll see if this is another one of them, because they've got some players. Should be able to get some defensive pressure. Linebackers look good. Corners, yeah, it could be better. I mean, no glaring issues. UConn, yeah, and then ULM, and then UMass. 75 overall quarterback. I mean, we're seeing some serviceable, again, serviceable, but what we want to see is the standout guys if you're UConn. And they just don't have any. Yeah, well, Kaminsky, 85 overall, but this corner room is 4 men deep. Good free safety there. Secondary in general, actually. Good secondary, but nothing else. ULM, I don't know if they have much going on. Briscoe's a solid quarterback. Moe's a solid running back. Actually, not that bad start for him. Wide receivers are good. Hold on. Wait a second. Was I lying? ULM got a team this year? Oh my goodness. 95 overall John Cherry at tight end. I lied. ULM does have a team. Conference USA might be the best G5 conference top to bottom. I still think Cincinnati is probably going to be our G5 rep this year, just because, I mean, Temple's got him a couple times, but I feel like it's only a matter of time until Cincinnati gets one. And Timbuktu is the leading kicker. And here's UMass, spirited by 76 overall Ramon Woolleyhand at quarterback. Emmanuel Rooks, 75 overall. So serviceable so far. 3 fullbacks. Wide receivers. Rico Sprocket recruited, came in. Again, starters are serviceable. Not a great tight end room. The offensive line, certainly some issues. No left guards. You have Alan Pena is good, but everybody else is not even a 70 overall. Linebackers are good so far, actually. Yeah, I mean, you can actually see it up there. The offense is a 61. The defense is a 71. The defense is much better than the offense. I think you're really going to struggle to move the ball. 4 punters. So yeah, you have a right guard, 87, and then defense, special teams, and then finally a wide receiver on offense. UNLV, Sam G, 75 overall quarterback, leading the effort for them this season. But Colt Ranger, a freshman. Now, if he can bring in a quarterback, UNLV finds a way to sneak in like a 4-star quarterback. Deep. But yeah, 79 overall Colt Ranger. Damian Thorne in his senior season has come to an 87. Monty McCreamy's an 85 as a freshman. Caden Paradise, Francis McBasketball, all there. So this team, I don't know, may not be the season for them. Tater Tots is a 74 as a freshman. Cheddar Bricks is an 80. I think you give this team some time to develop, and they've got something. Connor Kimball. But this season might not be the year. Although I do think their ratings are a little low. You know, that 59 overall feels very low for this team. Blake Butterfield. What about USC? 96 overall, 5-star prestige. John Okoronkwo, excuse me, is the quarterback. Maggio, the running back, 95 overall. $93 there is good. The line is good. Yeah. D line. Very good on the right edge. Oh my goodness. Defensive tackle as well. Sam, Mike, dude. Dude, even the weak side is a 97. There's just nothing you can do. USC's defense is going to be elite. Those linebackers are monsters. Oh, a little bit of a stutter. There we go. USF, 81 overall freshman quarterback. 87 overall running back. Like, USF is not bad. I think they can get to 7 or 8 wins for sure. 92 overall, 99 speed wide receiver. But USF is serviceable everywhere. I use that term serviceable a lot. But I think it's a good term. Yeah, this team is good. Dark horse for the South, but I still think it's UCF's to lose. What about Utah? Utah has not been good in a while, but they got Fisher Spriggs there, who redshirted last season. Maybe he'll start guiding them in the right direction. He's got a good connection at wide receiver. I'm hopeful. If I'm Utah for the future. It's just been a struggle for Utah for a long while now. Utah's another team I'd like to see good. Imagine if the conference championship was Utah versus Oregon State every season. Holy big. But yeah, the team could be worse, actually. I really like that roster. For what it is. Well, Utah State, a team that I think is underrated. Just because 59 overall feels very low, you know. The wide receivers aren't good. But I feel like this team could find some success in the Mountain West, because I think part of that is that I think anybody can find success in the Mountain West. Like, I think a dedicated user, like let's say Coach Wind is locked in, and he's recruiting, and he's balling out. He's just hooping and everything like that. I think he could take over the Mountain West and just, 9-0 that conference every season. Maybe 8-1 here and there. It's not a good conference. UTEP. UTEP had a good linebacker last season, but the rest of the roster was dookie. They're 71 overall now, which is pretty good, but it comes from their defense being a 74. So we'll see. Maybe they still have some defensive talent. The offensive line is fine, though, actually. This is Orlando Reeves, CFCL guy. Whoa, Kai Western, 90 overall. I mean, yeah, the team looks fine. It's not crazy. It's fine. 4 kickers, 3 punters. The UTSA, Coach Howard, led by Baraka Hart, 78 overall. Dex Tango, 75 overall as a freshman. I think he's in the wrong archetype. Low key. I think he should definitely be better as a wide receiver just based on some of his ratings. So we'll see. Maybe he'll change archetypes and develop into a hooper. I really gotta pee. No, we're not gonna make 2 hours. Vanderbilt, 86 overall quarterback. Yeah, but I mean, Vanderbilt unfortunately just plays in the SEC. And they play in the SEC East, which is much better than the West right now, unfortunately. Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, all balling. And then you got South Carolina, Kentucky, Vanderbilt. But on the other side, you only have like Ole Miss, Alabama. But Alabama was bad last season. Virginia is a 67 overall team. And I don't understand how. Because, again, this roster just looks so much better than that. But that could play a big role. Oh, this is freezing. Could play a big role in potentially a bad season for Virginia. Frozen again. Okay. Virginia Tech, yeah. Rashad Dobbs, he's good, but I don't know. Virginia Tech's offense has just been so bad. And he has players to throw to. The offensive line is probably worse than you would want in a power conference. Defense is solid start. I mean, defensive tackle, maybe not. Linebackers look good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Defense is still going to be very good, I think. But the offense just hasn't been figuring it out. Why do we have 5 kickers? Wake Forest hasn't been good in a minute. Good wide receiver room, though. Bad at left guard. But solid everywhere else. I mean, I don't have much commentary on Wake Forest. They seem fine. Washington. Bo Callahan. Gonna ball out, hopefully. Tyler Roy, 85 overall. don't know why I mentioned him specifically. He's not a CFCL player or anything. KJ Juicer is. But KJ Juicer is an athlete, and I think he just got the short end of the stick. 95 overall tight end. The offensive line so far, so good. Not great, but good. D-line, yeah, they got some talent there for sure. Linebacker works. Oh yeah, De La Rosa's a baller. Corner room could definitely be better. They got a good safety to back them up. Yeah, Washington's going to be just fine, and anybody who says UMass is going to beat Washington is wrong. This team is good. What about Washington State? UMass also plays them, funnily enough. 89 overall quarterback to start, though. 93 overall wide receiver to go with him. Just chuck it down the field. I like these teams that have a good quarterback and a good receiver because it feels like that pairing could be dangerous to anybody. You know? Like, yeah, they probably won't beat 95 overall Penn State or whatever, but there's Rudolph Red-Nose. But they could sling it, you know, and Jesus Christ, Bill Webb of West Virginia is a 97 overall with 96 speed. This dude is a monster. Colby Bitzel, the backup, who will be playing for them next season after Bill Webb inevitably goes to the NFL. We're frozen again. Oh, we're back. 92 overall running back, Damian Horner. Dude, West Virginia, hold on. 90 overall wide receiver, and they brought in Jaquan Byam via the portal. Milo Stankiewicz, not very good. Good tight end, good offensive line. Hold on. West Virginia in Blakey's first year. Quavo War is a baller. Defensive tackle could use some work. The defense is not as good looking, but actually, you know, they still got players. This team looks very good for his first season. Close it again. Rolo Drips is there. Yeah, I mean, they could make waves with this roster. I mean, they still got to play a very brutal schedule, fortunately, but you never know. Western Kentucky doesn't have a whole lot going for them these days. Used to be a very good team. Ty Pendragon is there at tight end. He's not elite, though. Just a fun name. No strong safeties. Western Michigan. And one of the teams that I say maybe watch out for in the MAC. Maybe. They got a pretty light schedule, I would argue. And if I remember correctly, in my skimming, I haven't deep dove the rosters like I am now. That's a lot of right tackles. They don't have any glaring weaknesses. Like, it looks like they're pretty much serviceable everywhere except on one side of the edge rushers there, but even then they might sub in another one. So my argument is that I think serviceable everywhere beats good some places, bad some places. Serviceable everywhere wins that matchup. IMO. Maybe not, but I mean, that's quite a few 80 overall players for a MAC team, I think. Tyrone Gossett, quarterback of Wisconsin. Frederick Jewell, also 90 overall. They're opening against Temple in week 0. Taz Rumble is there. They got 2 power backs as their starters, by the way. 99 speed, Devin Smoker. Could be dangerous. Offensive line, pretty good, especially the starters. Definitely no glaring weaknesses. Defensive line, better on the right edge for sure. Really good corner, and Sands, 99 speed as well. 2 99 speed players. Good kicker. Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin, solid roster for sure. That Temple versus Wisconsin game is going to be awesome. And then Wyoming is our last team. I wish somebody would take over Wyoming. Anelli, 86 overall senior quarterback, and they have an 81 overall freshman if somebody did do that. Good wide receivers, and none of them are seniors at the top there. I mean, very young team in Wyoming, man. They could win this season. I'm going to be honest. They could win some games this season with this roster. But in the future, I don't know, dude. I feel like Wyoming, a season or two from now, I mean, they're definitely losing some pieces, especially on defense. The offense, though, definitely looks like it's going to be really good. And that is it. Your 499 overall players are Quincy Wexler of Old Dominion, Buck Faust of Pitt, John Bohorquez of LSU, and Tim Carrington of Coastal Carolina. And 2 players from Miami on the edge. Anyway, that'll do it for the rosters. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know it was a long one, 2 hours and 8 total minutes, but we are through. So that'll do it. And if you want to, stick around real quick to see the highest rated players at every position. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Let's see. So 97 overall quarterbacks in there. Kansas State and West Virginia, both in the same division. And then Alejandro East and Pete Volk are all in the Big 12. Look at these quarterbacks. How is anybody supposed to succeed? The top 4 quarterbacks are all in the Big 12. And then you got Jaden Newton from the SEC at Auburn. And then UCF in the mix. But Temple's also in there, down here. Best running back is Quincy Wexler, Buddy Hendricks at Ole Miss, Tyrone Hearns, Billy Bowlegs. Rice has got a guy in there. Top fullback is Kansas State, but that doesn't really matter. Clemson got top wide receiver. Texas has got 2 of them. Anthony Shaw, also very good for Clemson, though. Georgia Tech and Des Fandango are balling. Clemson again. Texas has just got a lot of these top players. Let's see. Top offensive lineman, 97, 96, 97, 97. Was that back-to-back Auburn? Oh, Auburn's going to have a really good offensive line. Oh, it just keeps going. How am I supposed to handle this? Auburn, Auburn, Auburn. Yeah, well, let's take a look at the edge rushers real quick to see. We know a couple of these guys. Jake Epperson we don't, but we will, I'm sure. Abdullah Crook, Brennan Hook via the portal. Jaheim Spears, though, we know. Tim Carrington, obviously, we know. Russ Christmas is a new name for us, but him and Gregory Milliner, very dangerous. I have the number 1 defensive tackle. Let's go. Clemson's got a lot of really good players. USC, I'm seeing a lot. But yeah, look at Clemson. There they are again. USC, Nebraska. USC, Nebraska again. Nebraska's got some good linebackers, but USC is balling. USC again. Auburn, USC, Texas I see in there. Nebraska again. Nebraska's defense is going to be very good. Auburn. Yeah, there's no way Auburn is going to be a bad team. This has got to be Auburn's best season ever. I refuse to believe anything else. See some Tennessee again, more Florida State, more Washington, more Georgia Tech, Notre Dame. Notre Dame again, Texas again, Ohio State, Clemson, Texas. Minnesota's got the best kicker in the league. All right, well, that'll do it. I'm going to go ahead and get